afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting for Aims Community College, March 1st, 2023. Call the meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? The consent agenda is the minutes of February 8th, 2023 District Board meeting. Item B, revised policy 218, grant funding. And item C, revised policy 621, disability accommodations. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Next on the agenda is public comment. Zach, do we have anyone for public comment? I'm told we have no one for public comment, so we'll proceed. Item 6, presentation from guests and representatives to the board. I think today, Excellence at Aims, Janet Chase, Director of Student Activities, Inclusion and Leadership, is presenting. Welcome, Janet.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Dr. B, Chair Oxiger, Board of Trustee members, and Aims Community College at large. I am so tickled today to be here to introduce Phoebe Jonas, Fort Lupton campus student who is truly all in all of the time, and you'll soon hear about that. Her message of just do one more thing is a resounding message of grit and inspiration for all of us. As you can see in the photos, Phoebe has pictures of her family. She's super close to her family, and they've played a critical role in who she is today. And we thank them for that. After Phoebe graduates in May with a 4.0, of course, she'll be transferring on to earn a degree that will allow her to become an electrocardiogram technologist, which is essentially, it's a specialty of ultrasounds of the heart. And you'll soon hear from Phoebe why she chose that career path. I'm eternally grateful to the Aims faculty member who recognized in Phoebe Jonas her leadership qualities and encouraged her to apply for a position on the Campus Activities Programming Board to serve the students on the Fort Lupton campus. She's exceeded our wildest expectations in her creativity and the engaging programs that she's provided for the students. I have so much more to say, and I think you all know I like being at a mic, but I'm not going to make you listen to my gravelly voice anymore, even though I could stand up here and talk about Phoebe for hours. I'm thinking that you would all much rather hear from Phoebe herself. So without further ado, please welcome Phoebe Jonas.
I'm going to take this off so that you all can hopefully hear me. Good morning, Dr. B. Good morning, Dr. B, Chair Oxiger, and Board of Trustees members. My life began in Longmont, Colorado, in a small neighborhood where I was homeschooled for all my childhood. I loved anything with my families. I loved animals, if you couldn't tell. I loved camping, swimming, just any activity that I could use my imagination. Another big part of my childhood was I had a disease called Marfan syndrome. Basically, it just makes me really stretchy. So that's why I'm so tall and my hands are so long. And it's hereditary, so my dad has it also. Because of this, he didn't believe in what we call bubble wrapping our children, basically tucking them away in a box in a corner to be safe. And I could do whatever I wanted. With this condition comes heart surgery because our valves and vessels become stretchy also. So we need to go in there and just fix them up and tighten them back. So I had this heart surgery, but something ended up going wrong and I almost died. And by some miracle, I survived and ended up 6 weeks later with a heart transplant. So when you almost die, everything changes. The way you see the world changes, yourself changes, everything changes. Everything that a lot of people put a lot of value in are really quite futile and mean nothing after that. So in a sense, I had to relearn how to live again. The first thing I did was a lot of crying, a lot of processing, a lot of mourning who I used to be, because I will never be that again. And then the second thing I realized I had to do is find something worth living for. And for me, that was my family. And then I'm Christian, so my faith. Those were the two only things in the whole world that were worth living for. So once I found that, I realized I can't just jump in and talk to someone because it's not that simple. But I can physically walk my legs from my bedroom out to the couch instead, or physically walk them to church every single time it's open. Just put myself out there, put myself where people can see me alive and still moving. And then the next thing is just pick Mrs. Smith and say, I'm going to go say hi to her, ask her how day is, and then leave. And that's my accomplishment. I just needed to do one more thing, just check off boxes. And slowly, hopefully, I would get back up. And then a year and a half later, I found myself in an English class at Aims Community College with Laura Brazier. And that situation allowed me to rewrite myself in a sense, because nobody here had ever seen me close to death or anything like that. So I can make myself who I wanted to be. And that teacher showed us job opportunities that Aims was offering and said we should apply for them. So with that motto, just do one more thing, I signed up and I just checked that off my box. I'm like, okay, that's done. And then they told me to come for an interview. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go for the interview. And I checked it off. I'm like, probably not going to get hired. That's good. And then I got hired. And I was like, wait a second, I have no idea what I've been working for. So I went to training and I literally asked, what is the Campus Activities Programming Board? And they all started laughing. And they're like, you get to program events for students. I'm like, oh, okay, I could do that. That's not so bad. And that helps me grow my confidence. So I had rewritten myself, and now it puts me in a situation where I have to put that into action. I have to interact with my teammates. I have to interact with students during events. I have to put myself out there and actually be somebody. And that spilled over into the rest of my life, to the people who had almost seen me die. And they began to realize, yes, I'm alive. I'm not the same, but I'm still here and I'm still going. So thank you very much for having me here today. It means a lot. And I can assure you, I did not think I would be here 3 years ago, but you all have helped me amazingly. And I'm so grateful that I came to Aims and that I signed up for PAT. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you for sharing your story. That was incredible. Wow. I got to tell you, this kind of hit close to home with me. I just went through the same thing, so I got it back. Excuse me. So we're glad to us. You represent what Aims is all about, helping students, helping them find themselves, helping them find their career paths. You've chosen an interesting one. By the way, you're going into electric. Taking on quite a challenge. Know you're up to it. So again, thank you for sharing your story, and thanks for being such an inspiration, not only to us, but to students. We wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Wow. Okay, thank you again, Phoebe, and thank you, Janet. Next on the agenda, representatives to the board. First is Ross Perkins with Ames Staff Association. Ross, your show.
What's my show? Well, good afternoon on this beautiful Wednesday, snowy Colorado day, as it was. Board of Trustees, Dr. B, guests, Ames community, I welcome you. Hope everybody had a safe drive down. I only have a few things to share today. One of the first things I want to share, I think I mentioned this in the last meeting, is ASA, AFA, and the wellness team are working together to create what we're calling an Ames appreciation project. And our hope was to be able to do it before spring break, but because of some timing things and stuff like that, we're going to push it back to the last week of March. So you'll see that the last week of March, all around every campus, every building, every office will have a stack of notes that you can write a note to someone. They have some inspirational quotes at the bottom, some things you can write. There'll be some candy there. You'll be able to, we're really encouraging folks to hand walk them over to their colleagues just so that we can create some positive energy and stuff like that. So you'll see that, I believe it is the week of March 27th. Okay. Second thing I want to just remind everybody is we have an Ames volunteer opportunity at the Weld County Food Bank. This will be on Friday, March 31st. And I believe we have about 20 positions already filled. So we have about 20 more. And so if you're interested in doing that, it is on the ASA website. So you'll need to search and find that. We're trying to push people to the website to do that. So you can sign up on that. And Nan Perez from Windsor is going to be leading that project. You already signed up? Awesome. That's awesome. Next, I just want to make a quick announcement. Meg Murphy, some of you may know Meg Murphy. She is joining the ASA leadership team as of yesterday. She will be our new secretary. So we're super excited to have. So now we have our full team together, and we're really looking forward to some of the things that we're going to be doing not only this year, but next year and the years to come and stuff. And then finally, as I always do, I always, like to recognize the folks that are on the ripples. But today there's one that did not get put on the ripples that I'm going to share. And because we're in Fort Lupton, he works at Fort Lupton. This is Stephanie Klatt, who is the staff executive here for Fort Lupton campus. She earned her Master's of Arts in Higher Education and Student Affairs Leadership from UNC this past December. So I want to give her a shout out, and let's give her a hand. It's always nice to celebrate those accomplishments from the staff here at Ames and stuff like that. That's all I had to share today. I thank you all so much. If you have any questions or comments, I can entertain those.
Any questions, Ross? Okay, well, thank you, Russ.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.
Next is Student Government Association, our own Danielle Irwin. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you and greetings. Greetings esteemed members of the board, Chair Oxiger, Dr. Bornstein, cabinet members, and the Aims community. Once again, I am honored to be here and to share this time with you. So thank you for having me. Per usual, our student government and our campus activity programmers are busy at work. We have an exciting month ahead of us, and we are thrilled to announce some of our upcoming events. Tomorrow, the Campus Activities Programming Board will be hosting Death at Dinner in the Stuco lobby from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. This murder mystery dinner party will be held in the Student Commons building, and we will be featuring 3 different murder mystery games with various themes, including The Great Gatsby, Panic at the Disco, and The Wild West. Students are encouraged to dress up to match the theme or to come in comfy clothing. There will also be an opportunity to play games on the TVs and board games for students that are not interested in the murder mystery games. We will also be serving a pasta dinner from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. On Friday, the Campus Activity Programming Board will be presenting TIL in the Welcome Center auditorium from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're very excited. In honor of Women's History Month, we invite you all to join us for our free showing of TIL. This movie is profoundly emotional and cinematic about the true story of Mamie Till Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who in 1955 was unfortunately lynched while visiting his cousins in Mississippi. In Mamie's poignant journey of grief turned to action, we see the universal power of a mother's ability to change the world. Popcorn will be served post-movie, so please be sure to invite all of your friends and family. On March 7th, there will be free STI testing on the Windsor campus in the PSI lobby from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., and Sexy Sammys will be provided while supplies last. Additionally, on March 7th, the Campus Activity Programming Board will be hosting Take Care of Your Down There in Stuco 114 from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Now, this event aims to break the stigma surrounding reproductive health and strives to equip students with the tools that they need to properly care for themselves. Annette Odell, MSN, from the Weld County Department of Public Health and Environment will be there to provide information and to answer questions. Students will also be allowed to create a healthy tea mix to take home and to learn more about natural probiotics that promote health and well-being. On March 8th, SGA will be hosting their Fort Lupton Town Hall, and all are encouraged to attend, and there will be pizza while supplies last. And then additionally on the Fort Lupton campus on March 9th, there will be a pizza and game night that Phoebe will be hosting. So we're all excited about that. That will be from 11:30 to 2 p.m. And so if you'd like more information about these events or would like to volunteer, please contact us at student.activities.aims.edu. Thank you all for your time. Does anybody have any questions?
No questions?
Excellent. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And last but not least, Aims Faculty Association, Mamita Roy. Welcome, Mamita.
Can you hear me? Excellent. Okay. Good afternoon, Chairperson Axiger, members of the board, Dr. B, Dr. Larimer, all the cabinet members, my colleagues, students, and as I like to call you, my friends. Before I share some wonderful accomplishment of the faculty, I have to thank Phoebe for her inspiring story. It was difficult to hold back tears, but it was also very inspirational. I also would like to thank Danielle and Ross for sharing the work of our colleagues and students. You always inspire us to do more, do better. Having said that, are you now ready to be amazed by what the faculty have been doing? Yeah. So the work of our faculty members, it does not just impact the local community, it ripples nationally and get ready for it, internationally. So the first achievement that we are going to talk about connects students across continents. Let's hear it for Sumiko Gibson. She is a part-time faculty in world languages, and she has a Japanese language course, which is very popular, but that's not the point. Along with that course, she created a language exchange program in which the students enrolled in that class can Zoom and Skype with other students at Shinsu University in Japan. I know. So she has found such a brilliant, and I have to say, I'm an economist, a cost-effective way to explore international culture. Way to go, Sumiko. Now, serving our students and serving them right, the next conference is by FTLC, Faculty Teaching and Learning Center at Aims. They recently held their Tap into Learning conference, and the theme this time was leveling the playing field with technology. I have to say, one of the best things I like about Aims are the internal conferences that we have, whether it is the Conversation Day or the Tap into Learning conference. It keeps us motivated. It keeps us getting better and better as educators. So thank you, and let's keep them coming. And on that theme of serving our students, let's hear it for Elizabeth Osborne, who is a professional tutor for behavioral sciences and advancing academic achievement, and Denise Pearson, who is a professor of advancing academic achievement. They launched a very unique and novel program, which is called Artie's Power Hour. This is truly an initiative which is for all students by all of Aims. The faculty members, FTLC, Learning Commons, and in consultation with the Student Government Association, this all came about. So what is Artie's Power Hour? It's a study session. It's a study hall in which students are given incentives to win prizes if they have long streaks of studying. So it helps in building habits, good study habits. We all needed this. And thank you, Denise. Thank you, Elizabeth, for creating this for us. Now, if you thought that is it, no, there's more. Christine Wideman, Laura Killenwing, and Amy Irwin, they are faculty of early childhood education, and they were the recipients of a state grant that provided free tuition for ECE 1011 and ECE 1031 all through fall of 2021 and spring 2023. Now, while I was creating this report, Kristen said, Momita, please do not forget to mention how helpful financial aid was in supporting our students. So in honoring her words, can we have a huge round of applause for Emily Notter and Hannah Jensen, financial aid, and all the faculty of early childhood education. Now, I have to say our faculty go all the way when they are teaching our students. They don't stop. So recently, Judy Eaton, she is a faculty of criminal justice and political science. She had the honor of meeting Jenna Griswold, who is the state of Colorado's 39th Secretary of State. And she's going to bring back those conversations into her classroom in political science. Now, this is the main part that I'm so excited about. We're going to talk about the award season, not the Oscars, even better, okay? So may I ask you to hold your applause until I mention all the three names, and then we're going to celebrate them very nicely. First, it's Cody Jones. He is a professor of welding, and he was awarded the Section Educator Award by the American Welding Society for his outstanding contribution to the field of welding technology. I know you want to clap, but let's hold on. The next one, Leah Shire. She is a part-time faculty in advancing academic achievement. She was recognized as the Distinguished Colleague for November from the Ripples Committee because of the outstanding Ripples she received from her students. Her students had a lot of kind words to say for her, but this is my favorite. I would like to nominate Leah as she is an amazing human being. She has helped me with confidence and love that I had thought was lost for future generations. It's hard not to be emotional at that. But I'm also very proud to work with Leah. One more, Dr. Fanamulu Moore. She is the Faculty of Physics and Astronomy, and she was recognized as the distinguished colleague in December, again, for the multiple ripples she received from students. She received five ripples between November and December. And again, her students had such wonderful things to say about her. I will read one of the favorites. Not only do I feel like Dr. Moore was incredible in the classroom at guiding us through each and every lesson while drawing from real-world examples and continuously breaking down concepts to ensure we understood the underlying principles, but she was a top-notch professor for creating a comfortable environment to learn in. Kudos, Fana. Now, can we do that applause? Well, that brings me to the end of this month's report. However, I'm happy to answer any questions you have, or I'll try. Yes.
Heidi, you have a question?
On the first page. The study group that they have, the Artie's Power Hour, will that be implemented in each campus or just on the Greeley campus?
So right now it's a pilot program, which is why it is just on Greeley campus. But depending on the success of that program, and I can see it becoming very successful, we would hope to spread it to Fort Lupton, Windsor, Loveland, all of our satellite campuses.
Anything else? Okay, well, thank you very much, Manita. Appreciate your report as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, well, that concludes presentations from representatives to the board. So next on the agenda is action items. Action item A is new unmanned aircraft systems sciences associate of applied science degree. Dr. Russ Rothmer, Executive Vice President, and Eric Himmler, Director of Aviation, will be presenting. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Chair Oxiger, members of the board. The action items we have for you this afternoon are based on what we shared with you last month during our work session. And the summary of the first item is the Ames Aviation Department is requesting the expansion of the Unmanned Aircraft System, or UAS, program to include an Associate of Applied Science degree. And there are two main reasons for offering this degree. Many career opportunities and internships require applicants to be actively enrolled in such a program. And then also it allows our Ames UAS AAS graduates the ability to transfer to four-year programs. So offering again those stepped opportunities. So it is our administrative recommendation that the board approve the UAS AAS degree.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Rothamer. Any questions? Nothing? Well, if there's no questions, do we have a motion to approve action item A?
I would make a motion to approve action item 7A, the UAS Sciences Associate of Applied Sciences degree.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
We have a second. Any other discussion? I just want to say this is exciting stuff. As if you'll remember from last month when we discussed this and went over all the advantages and the potential for this and the other action items we're presenting here this afternoon. This really is exciting for Ames College. So with that comment, I'll call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Congratulations. Next on the agenda, action item 7B, the new UAS Professional Operator Academic Certificate. Again, Dr. Rothmer and Eric.
Thank you, Chair Oxiger. The Ames Aviation Department is requesting to add the aforementioned certificate to be embedded in the proposed UAS Associate of Applied Science degree. It's a 12-credit academic certificate that builds on the current UAS Basic Operator Academic Certificate and focuses on advanced systems and operations. So it's our administrative recommendation for you to approve the UAS Professional Operator Academic Certificate.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Rothamer. I'm going to have to take a lesson in turning on the mic. I apologize. Are there any questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve action item 7B, the UAS Professional Operator Academic Certificate?
I would so move to approve action item 7B.
I second that motion.
And we have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Congratulations. Next, action item 7C, the new UAS Design and Fabrication Academic Certificate. Again, Dr. Rothamer and Eric.
Thank you, Chair Oxiger. The Ames Aviation Department is requesting to add the UAS Design and Fabrication Academic Certificate that will also be embedded in the recently approved AAS degree. This is also a 12-credit academic certificate that builds on the UAS Professional Operator Academic Certificate and focuses on the design and fabrication of both multi-rotor and fixed-wing UAS, computer programming, and computer-aided drafting focused around solid modeling 3D. It is our administrative recommendation that you approve the UAS Design and Fabrication Academic Certificate.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Rothamer. Any questions of Dr. Rothamer? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve action item 7C, the new UAS Design and Fabrication Academic Certificate?
Move to approve 7C UAS Design and Fabrication Academic Certificate, knowing that you're creating quite a well-rounded program.
I second that motion.
Very good. Do we have a motion and a second? Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it really is exciting stuff, and I think it's appropriate with all the work and everything that's gone into this. That you saw Eric Himmler up there. He has done an incredible amount of work on this and in leading the effort on this, as well as Jake Marshall, who has just been incredible. So, Eric and Jake, stand up. Think about it. Thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. And we look forward to great things out at the Windsor campus. Next is action item 7D, appointment of the Board of Trustees liaison as a designated election official. And I asked Dr. Bornstein to present this.
Okie dokie. So I'll just read the summary of the issue for everyone that's actually in the audience. Per Colorado Revised Statute 23-71-110 parentheses 5, members of a Board of Trustees shall be elected at the regular biennial school election of school districts within the local district college district. Any person desiring to be a candidate for the office of trustee shall file a petition for nomination pursuant to CRS section 1-4-803 and part 9 of article 4 of title 1. The election shall be conducted pursuant to the provisions of CRS articles 1 to 13 of title 1. The secretary of the Board of Trustees shall be the designated election official responsible for the election. Per Ames Community College Policy 12, Board Officer Elections and Responsibilities number 2, any of the special duties of the board secretary may be delegated by the board to a paid secretary who may be appointed by the board. CRS 23-71-125. Designation of an election official regularly takes place at Board of Trustees meetings in March during odd number election years, which we are in. The administrative recommendation is to approve the appointment of Jerry Harvey as the designated election official for the November 7th, 2023 board elections. Just as an aside, some of you may recall that the last time we had an election, Carrie was in place and she was retiring. And so the board elected Megan to step in for consistency. And then we had talked at that time about next time we were in an election, we would then move that back to the board liaison. So therein lies the administrative recommendation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Bean. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve action item 7D, appointment of Board of Trustees liaison and designated election official?
I move that we approve action item, it's not even action item, but it is action item 70 to have Jerry Harvey appointee.
I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Jean. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. And that motion carries. Thank you very much. And that ends the action items. Next is action or
Information.
agenda item 8, information items. And since Jerry is not with us today, I'm going to ask Dr. Bornstein to do the events calendar and upcoming work session.
I would love to do that, except for some reason that my computer is not syncing there. So can I throw that back over to you, Lyle, to do? I got through the action items and then I'm not able to get to the rest of my board packet.
Well, as everyone has this in their packets, providing we can get our computers to work. There, mine's moving. You've all had an opportunity to review this. Upcoming events in April is the proposed tax information, compensation benefits, distinguished fellow award, and academic program feasibility. So those are items of note for April. And in May is the faculty renewals, budget adoption, faculty consultation, state appropriation. Those are, except for the faculty awards, will all be action items that we'll see coming up on our agendas. And then, of course, the legislative post-session debrief. On that, we'll probably be presenting that unless something changes, and then marketing and communication plan. And then coming up in June is the Board of Trustees retreat. As well as during that, the Board of Trustees will do a self-evaluation, and it's an informal evaluation and a formal evaluation of our CEO. And then a strategic plan and year-end summary. will occur as well. So in July, there will be no business meeting, and then we'll start again come August. So any questions?
Sir, April meeting.
In April?
There is always a work session.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, in April, there's, you'll see on page 74 of your book, because I'm now synced, that first bullet point, review proposed tax info and budget. So Chuck will present that in work session. There may be another work session at this, unclear.
Any other questions? Okay, very good. You get your computer up and running? Okay. All right, next is 8B, Foundation Board Liaison Update. So Trustee Marquette will do a report to the board.
Thank you, Kelly, for bringing this over. Just kind of an update on some goals achievements. We've increased our contribution level to 75 donors today. We're at $702,826 of our goal for the calendar year 2023. We have 134 retained donors. Okay. Just on operational, Kelly Jackson attended the Case Council for Advancement of Support of Education Conference in Denver. We are still looking for an alumni manager position. It's been vacant with Kelly Z that we lost last month, or early in December or January, right? The board is very active. Can everybody hear me? A little bit better? Okay. There you go. I got to keep the ED people happy. What else is there? Board is very active with the stewardship outreach calls, scholarship distribution discussions. In development, fundraising is down 17% for the year due to the naming gifts that we received the year before. We've got some big numbers that year. A new bequest signed and one new endowment and 2 new scholarships were received. The foundation supported a grant submission to the Colorado Health Foundation for a JED campus program. I think Dr. B might know about the JED program. And I don't know what the JED stands for. What's JED? But it's there. Another win-win for our ENT program. We got a $25,000 grant from the Daniels Fund, and also a COSI application submitted for upcoming cycle. Community outreach, chair of the Northern Colorado Nonprofits Partnership. Is that Kelly?
Yes.
Good girl, thank you. Representative Ames at several external community events, the Greeley Chamber Annual Dinner, SE Southeast Weld County Annual Dinner, Chamber Dinner, Success Foundation Breakfast, that's coming up this Monday, by the way. And STEMicon mock interviews, which is kind of an I've done those before at Northridge. Tours, nothing recent, but upcoming foundation events include our board meeting on March 15th. That's going to be at the Windsor campus. A donor appreciation event at the ballroom A on April 6th. Board retreat, we have our board retreat May 17th. I believe that's at the ballroom to a conference room there. May 25th, Colorado, Connecting Colorado hosts and Colorado Nonprofit Association. Kelly could probably build this one in a little better. And we do have a board meeting in July. Oh, there's a fun event, country pickup line dancing on August 24th. So get your cowboy and cowgirl boots on and go up for that one. And then Ted Johnson puts on the ECI golf tournament, which I don't know how much it raised last year. How much was it last year?
$25,000.
$25,000. Good deal. It's a lot of work. Golf tournaments are not easy events, but those that go to them love them. They don't spend any amount of money on golf. That's at Pelican Lakes. Anybody have any questions? Good.
Thank you for their report. Thank you for their report. Okay, appreciate it very much, Mark. Next is the CEO and President's report. Dr. Bornstein, I'll turn the mic over to you.
Thank you. As per usual, please note highlights from every division and department in your packets because we will not be going through those in the public meeting. However, we do have an enrollment report from Erin Prestowich, who's the Assistant Vice President for Student Engagement, Inclusion, and Success. So Erin, would you please take the podium? Thank you. And I do believe on page 76 of your board portal is the enrollment report.
Yes. So good afternoon, members of the board and Dr. Bornstein and Aims colleagues. I have some encouraging enrollment data to share. To clarify about the JED grant, though, that's actually a mental health wellness grant that we received. Yeah, so we received that recently. So that's to continue our mental health support. So I have three parts to the enrollment report, and one is to go over some enrollment highlights from this last fall and this spring. So that's the first part. The second part is I'm going to show a little bit of data from the college, the community college system to kind of see what our other colleges in the system are kind of experiencing. And then I have a bonus handout that I'm going to share as my third part. And that's going to go over some enrollment trends from 2018 to 2022 that just kind of shows just some student demographic data to kind of see how our student demographics are either kind of similar or how they're changing over the years. So this one I'm going to go over. Our enrollment is up. So enrollment is up this spring. I think we all know kind of the experience that we've had from COVID and how hard everyone has had to work back to get our enrollment numbers back up. So this spring, our overall head count is actually up 15% from the same time last spring, and our total FTE is up 11% from last spring. So that is incredible. It's an excellent kind of development. A lot of that growth is from concurrent enrollment. But as you look and see there, we have some other kind of encouraging trends from this spring as well. So our first time students, that's again, any the first time a student attends Aims would be in this category. So that demographic has increased. So that's up actually 21% from the previous spring. Our returning students for this spring increased from the last spring. Our concurrent enrollment students is up 24%. And then you can see we have a few more Hispanic students and African-American students this spring compared to the same time last spring. So those are some, again, really encouraging numbers. That 15% and that 11% increase in headcount and FTE is an awesome accomplishment for the whole college. When you turn back and look at fall 2022, our headcount was increasing in the fall too. So in fall, our headcount was up 4% from the prior fall. FTE was up 2%. First time at Aims students was up 9%. This was the only category that we had that was down a little bit from fall, which is returning students. So we didn't have quite as many returning students in the fall as we did to the previous fall. We seem to have reversed that trend with more returning students this spring. So I think we've rebounded from that. When you look at the bottom of that handout, it shows some specific demographic data. This is all from spring 2023. So right now, this spring, 42% of our students are concurrent enrollment. That's been slowly growing. That's a trend that we're definitely seeing across the country and also across the state that I'll share a little bit more. 74% of our students this term are part-time students. That's actually been pretty stable over time. 33% of our students are Hispanic students. 50% of our students are students of color. So that's been slowly increasing. So our diversity is increasing, which is good. Also, I wanted to take a look at, what are the number of in-district students that we have? So 83% of our students at the college are in district. So I think that shows the strength that we are truly serving our community. We really are educating the students in our district. So, and then 23% of our students are non-traditional. Any questions or comments about that data set before I move on to the next part?
Total number. I think full-time and part-time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so the total head count is all students, all part-time, all full-time, concurrent enrollment, all student demographic is the total head count.
Part-time and everything.
Yep, anyone who's enrolled at Aims. So this spring, we have 6,493 students enrolled at the college. Yep.
Great, thank you.
Yep. It's common. So when you look in the fall, we had 7,183 students. Every community college I've worked at, we always have a lower head count in the spring than we do in the fall. We always have more new students come in the fall than we do in the spring. So we always have a fewer students in the spring than fall.
What percentage of our students are full-time?
25%. Yeah.
That would make 74%.
Yeah, 26%, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I always try to wrangle some data from the system. Their enrollment numbers are not private, but they also don't put them on the website. So I have former colleagues that always track down some enrollment data because, again, I think it's just interesting to see what's happening across the state at other community colleges. So again, this spring, we're up 15% in headcount, 11% in FTE. The system as a whole is up 8% in headcount and 5% in FTE. So the system is also increasing, not quite as strong as we are, but their enrollment is increasing as well. It's interesting. I looked at their concurrent enrollment data. Again, it's interesting because this is something that we've always been paying attention to. Our high school programs has done a fantastic job of expanding their partnerships with additional schools and with additional students. And we've continuing to see more and more concurrent enrollment students take advantage of that opportunity. At the system, so kind of across the state, concurrent enrollment in the spring of 2023, so right now, make up about 43% of the overall headcount. So we're pretty on par, I guess, pretty similar across system schools. In spring of 2022, concurrent enrollment made up 39% of overall headcount at the system. So they're increasing their concurrent enrollment numbers too. It's interesting. I've looked at some individual colleges and there's definitely some variance across the state at percentage of concurrent enrollment demographic. So Front Range, who's closest to us, they're similar. So they have 44% of their students are concurrent enrollment. So I thought, no, that's pretty similar to us. But then there's a couple of community colleges in the state that have a pretty high demographic of CE students. Arapahoe Community College is 60% of their students are concurrent enrollment. Community College of Aurora, 58% of their students are concurrent enrollment. So that's kind of interesting to see. And then there's a couple schools that still have a lower percentage of concurrent enrollment students. Pikes Peak Community College, they're at 23%. And then Northeastern Junior College, 26% of their students are concurrent enrollment. So it's interesting because across the state, there's definitely a general trend across the state, but all the schools are a little bit different in terms of their percentage of CE demographics.
Yeah.
Trustee Howe?
I think, did COVID kind of light the fuse for the growth in concurrent enrollment as a choice or?
Not necessarily. It's actually been expanding for several years now. I'm not sure if COVID was an actual precipice for advancing that. It's been a gradual increase for several years.
But the overall enrollment among community colleges was down this past year. So
Yeah,
in effect, concurrent enrollment kind of stabilized the enrollment.
in that sense, yeah, concurrent enrollment has kind of buoyed up our overall kind of enrollment. Yeah. Okay, I promised some bonus data. I have a handout.
No.
So it's also helpful to go back and kind of look at overall trends from year to year. So what I did is I looked back from 2018 to 2022. This year is not included in these numbers because this year is not over yet. It's not kind of fully complete yet. So when you look in the 2018-19 academic year, our total overall enrollment headcount was 8,847 students. And then in the 2019-20 year, we had 9,163 students, so we were increasing. And then our friend COVID hit, and we went down in the 2021 year to 8,272. And then last year, we bumped back up to 9,378. And then we'll wait and see what the total numbers. We'll have to wait for summer to come and see what our total numbers are for this year. But they're going to even be higher than this. So this will be basically our second straight year of overall enrollment growth.
We don't have the summer semester. On the screen.
No.
That would be the difference.
Yeah. So that's why we can't include the current year yet, because we're just not quite done yet. All right, so some particular student demographics. So first generation students, that's one that I looked at. When you can look back to 2018, 44% of our students were first generation, and this last year, nearly 50% of our students were first generation. So our first generation students are increasing. Freshman and sophomore numbers. So this one's kind of interesting. This one's been pretty stable. It hasn't changed a whole lot, but I thought it'd be worthwhile to share anyway. So this has been pretty stable the last 4 years, but about 2/3 of our students are categorized as freshmen, which means they've earned 30 credits or less. And then 33% or 1/3 of our students are sophomore status, which is above 31 credits or 31 credits and above. So it's just kind of interesting to see how that's broken down. Going to the back page of that handout. Also, when we look at our student demographics by age. So we have the high school age, which is any student who's under 18. We have the traditional age student, which is 18 to 24. And then we have non-traditional student, which is 25 and above. So back in 2018, the high school aged student population made up about 20% of our overall students. And this last year, that was 30%. So that one's definitely increasing. Our non-traditional student has been fairly stable. It's kind of hovered anywhere from 28% to 25%. And then the traditional age student, which is a lot of times when we think of our college students, we think of our traditional age students, and sometimes we forget we have all these concurrent enrollment students and we have non-traditional students. And that one has been decreasing a little bit. So the percentage of traditional age students is decreasing. And I think for those who attended the conversation day, and we see how student demographics are changing just in our region, I think can help explain why that number is kind of decreasing a little bit. Low income and non-low income students. So again, this one has stayed relatively stable, but I thought it was worth noting that over the years, about anywhere from 27 to 30% of our students can be categorized as low income students. And then the last category that I wanted to share is just the types of students. Are they here earning an associate degree? Are they getting a certificate? Are they non-declared students, they're not here to get their degree or certificate. We sometimes call those special interest students. On this handout, they're categorized as not declared. So again, this last year, 55% of our students were striving to earn an associate's degree. About 13% of them were striving to earn a certificate. And then 32% of them were non-declared students. I think it's important to know some concurrent enrollment students would be in this non-declared category. So if a concurrent enrollment student has not declared a major, then they would be non-degree seeking. There's different reasons. There's different pros and cons as to why a high school student might want to declare a major or may not want to declare a major. But they would be categorized in that non-declared category. So, questions?
What was that question? How about our completion ratios or percentages?
Yeah, so we do look at those on a regular basis. We actually have several retention and completion metrics that we pull every term. I didn't include any of those in these enrollment reports because I just was focused on basically our enrollment. But if you're interested in our retention and completion numbers, I'd be happy to share some of that information or provide that in an update in a future month. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. Again, you have highlights in your packet. At this point, I'd like to ask if there's any supervisor in the audience that would like to introduce their new employee. If they would step up to the podium, please.
I'll start off with saying our team is small but mighty. There is a hiring criteria that you cannot be over 5'2". No, I'm just kidding. But that really is the power in our company. We hired Nikki Sanders as our staff executive. She came on with a temporary position in August, and we made her permanent in January. She brings a wealth of patience with all that's going on in the foundation, and she's my calendar. So she is the one that will keep me on the straight and narrow. So if you need to get a hold of me, you call her first because I'm out and about. She's been a fabulous addition to our group. She, one of our hiring questions was, what makes you qualified for this job? And how are you going to manage all of your projects? And she looks us square in the face, stone faced, and she said, I have 6 kids. We looked at each other and said, she's hired. If she can manage them, she can manage us. So we are proud to have her join our team. And thank you, Nikki. Welcome to the team.
I'm actually going to sit here, but I'm going to ask Dr. David Ayler to come up to the podium. This is David's first day on the job. Dr. Ayler is our Vice President for Academic Affairs, and some of you had the opportunity to meet him at Conversation Day. He did fly in particularly for that day, so he could be part of all of that activity and be with all of us as we were reviewing data and understanding everything from the ground up. So, David, if you would just take a moment to tell us a little bit about your background and introduce yourself, that would be wonderful.
Okay. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. This is a fantastic institution, and I'm proud to call everyone my colleague here, and I look forward to working with all of you. I've had a long career in higher education. I started out as a faculty member. I've been a department chair, a dean of instruction, vice president of instruction and student services, director of assessment, institutional research and institutional effectiveness, assistant provost, and a vice chancellor for academic affairs prior to coming here. And so I feel like I have some well-rounded preparation to come into this role. My academic credentials, I have a Bachelor of Arts in Speech, Master of Fine Arts in Theater, Technical Theater, and a PhD in Higher Education. I was very grateful to have the opportunity to get to come to the conversation day because that was part of the kickoff for the new strategic plan. And I wanted to hear the conversations and see what's going on and have a chance to meet with people again. And the energy that day was very exciting. It was excellent energy. We have great facilities on all of the campuses. So I'm really pleased to be here with all of you. Some things I took away from conversation day. I had a lot of conversations outside of the sessions with people. And what was shared with me is a lot of really great ideas of things that people would like to do. Interest in innovation and doing new things. Arthur Levine, in his address, he talked about the challenges facing higher education today, the opportunities that sit before us and what needs to happen and how we can position ourselves to be a significant institution going into the future. And I heard a lot of enthusiasm for people wanting to address those challenges and to do new things. And I'm very excited to be here to work with everybody in developing those ideas, finding ways to bring those into fruition. And I'm just really overjoyed to be here and look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, David, and welcome. That concludes the president's report. Chair Oxiger.
Thank you, Dr. Bornstein. Appreciate all the reports, all the incredible information that we get through these reports to let us know how the college is doing. And on behalf of the board, Dr. Ayala, welcome. Next on the agenda is reflections and comments from board members about Aims. So this is a voluntary thing. Anybody got any reflections or comments? Marilyn?
I'll just tack on to Dr. Ayler's comment around conversation day. And, as we're sitting here and approving the unmanned aircraft program and the program and the headwinds that Dr. Levine kind of laid out and really made us aware of how do you stay ahead. And I think, just the innovation of what technology is bringing forward, needed programs, CTE, degrees, the whole package is really about where I think that positions us well for the future. And with the team that we have and that foresight to be able to say, here's where we need to go. I think that's really going to drive what came out of conversation day for me. And so I think today is another day that demonstrates the amazing work that's happening with this organization and this institution. So.
Very nice. Thank you. Appreciate those comments. Dr. O'Hara.
I just wanted to comment on Phoebe Jonas' report and how powerful that is and how it makes me feel sitting here and feeling a part of what Aims does to open up opportunities for students. It's more than an education. It just changes lives so dramatically. And I just appreciate those reports every month. But also I wanted to comment on the concurrent enrollment growth, up 24%. I think that bodes well for our continued growth in our student population. Once they get exposed to our campus, they can't help but be impressed. And I just think it really looks good for Aims and student population in the future.
Thank you, Dean. I appreciate it. Heidi.
I could probably just say I mimic everything that Marilyn and Dean have said, but I think the students, when they come here, it's like a ripple effect through ripples, that it not only affects their lives, it affects their friends' lives, it affects their parents and their family, and it's just a continuation. So what Aims does is pretty amazing. And I will be honest, I was on my social media early this morning, and I did see Aims putting out their the certificate or the associate degree of engineering sciences. And I am so excited for that. I reshared that, and I have quite a few friends in Fort Lupton. I think they'll be very excited about this. And so every time that you folks and we approve of a brand new amazing program, it really does affect communities. And so I would like to just say thank you for everything that everyone is doing, because you're making a better place for everyone.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Anyone else, Mark?
Yeah, I was down in Florida and I was able to log on and listen to Dr. Levine's presentation. And I've been kind of studying that school of thought for a number of years, and I'm just seeing how this is placing community colleges in a sweet spot to some extent and degree, as we see the confluence of our concurrent enrollment merging towards us, and then what we can do to support higher ed in the base modes in that operation. I think, it's just going to improve our ability to serve our community. I mean, ironically, our statute isn't as designated the K through 12 education as the community college system run by the state. We're kind of like a little anomaly, but I see concurrent enrollment being the elephant into that statutory ruling that we have to look at. And it's neat to see, that energy that he projected. If every student could lay their cell phone in the room and watch that video presentation of what he talked about, with possibly their mom and dad behind them listening as well, they would garner a lot of information from what he had to deliver, and possibly that guidance that they're going to need moving forward into their career opportunities. And I just, thank you, Dr. B, for bringing him here. He was a breath of fresh air. I read, Dr. Ryan Craig's book. If you want to read some other stuff on that and that genre, he's got two good books out there as well. But thank you, Dr. B, for doing that.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Well, I think that well, first of all, I certainly echo everything everyone else has said. I don't want to repeat everything, but I continue to be honored to serve on this board and to be part of this college. Reflecting back on all the college has done this past year and continues to do. Our board meeting today is an example of what the college is doing. The presentation that Dee made is just incredible. It highlights some of the work we're doing for our faculty and our staff to ensure that Aims continues to be in leadership role in the community college community, if you will, to actually take that leadership role. I think of all of the work that we're doing in aviation and all of the other programs, the nursing degree that we approved this past year, 4-year nursing degree. That's amazing. The aviation program that the certificates that we approved today, the great work that we're doing there. It's just incredible what we're doing. And then our board has been doing some really good work too. I think about what we went through this past year and the incredible, insightful and in-depth discussions we had about the board and about ourselves and how we interact as board members, and in coming up with our code of conduct and our mission and vision and values. I just think that's incredible work, and we just continue to do things like that to improve ourselves. I think it would be incredibly valuable for other boards to look at some of the work we're doing in that arena. And by the way, Dr. B, that made me think, and Kelly, does the foundation board have anything like that? Have they done anything like a code of ethics or anything like that? Or do you know?
Kelly, does
I'm
the
sure
foundation
so.
board have a code of ethics, code of conduct, policy, procedure, or bylaws?
Yes, yes, and yes. And I function
Outstanding.
with my certification. I am required to function by the fundraising code of ethics. So that leads what our board does as well. And we do
Wonderful.
have those in writing.
Super, thank you for that. So, it's, there we are, we're right out there in the front and right on top of things again, so, just very, very pleased and very honored, so, thank you for all the work that you all do. Next on the agenda is the assessment of board meetings. How do we do today? Any comments? Typically, for those of you out there, we have it's kind of an assessment. What did we learn? What worked? What didn't work? Several items, and we do this every meeting, so we just kind of have them in front of us, and we have the opportunity to do a voluntary assessment of the board, and usually that involves bringing up any comments about any of those items that we may deem appropriate. So this is the opportunity to do that if you have any. Heidi.
I just wanted to say I'm really excited about the enrollment information that you produced. It's exciting to hear. It makes you feel like we're doing really well and we're above standard, and we're just on a good roll. So I appreciate it.
Thank you, Heidi. Anyone else? No? Well, I think we had a great meeting too. We certainly, like we said earlier, we got a lot of information, a lot of good stuff came out of it, and continue to be excited and look forward to the items coming up in the very near future. So if there's nothing, Mark. See, I keep talking at the end of these things, so I give Mark an opportunity to think of something.
I wanted to give an extra special thanks to Cody and Amy. Might not be here, and Julie too for that. But she was willing to brazen that greenhouse or the CDL tour. But I said no thanks. But no, Cody and Amy both gave us a great nickel tour, and it was actually $1.25. And we are very proud of what that program is yielding. And I was impressed how Cody integrates not only the 101 level coursework with the upper course level in the same classroom. So they never have an empty classroom. I mean, it's always full, and they got an in-person waiting list. And what is it, 60-40 women in A versus men?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
I was supposed to be a girl.
So with that, I'd like to thank Julie for hosting us here today. We appreciate it very much, and a great lunch. So having said that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carried. We're adjourned. Thank you very much. Drive safe and go home.